Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, the only series where we have a cripplingly large problem. I can't make eye contact with the camera for a long enough period of time because staring people in the eyes is weird as fuck to me. Because I can do anything that I set my mind to except for maintain eye contact. You hear me? This is a gift. Please use it. That being said, I'm going to do what I did in the last video. Please subscribe if you like more videos, and like videos if you feel like liking videos. And if you don't like videos, then discorporeate into the universe and become one with nature. I don't give a fuck. And enjoy the rest of it, because I'm going to keep doing these. You see, today we're going to be reviewing episode 2 of a little series called Usamimi Bouken-Tan. And if you're wondering where the rest of that sentence is, because, oh, doctor! The last one was about 7 words, plus a few things called hyphens and apostrophes. And there was no apostrophes, it was commas. That being said, fuck you for making me review so many of these different ones. I'm not blaming any of the viewers, I'm blaming me because I'm stupid. That being said, let's go ahead and call a spade here. This is not Usamimi Bouken-Tan, this is saving the world through sexual harassment. You knew what you were getting into. And you see, this little ditty starts out with a good 16-minute and 40-second runtime with about 8 categories total, notable of which are fantasy, monster, and, as y'all know, big mommy booba. And I can safely say I'm ready for it, because this series we ain't here for the plot. We're here for the plot, because this is goofy as fuck. So, let's go ahead and get into it. You see, starting off, the 2 main characters, who will remain nameless because they are main character and bunny girl. And I'm not going to learn their names because holy fuck, there's a lot of stuff going on. The beginning of this entire series, or episode itself, starts with them walking casually down a road until eventually they get to a bridge, in which case the nothing personnel girl from the previous episode shows up and is just like, you guys are looking good, I'm here to fix that, and then says, I'm here to kill you in the name of the Emperor. And he's like, alright, more trivia. And she's like, nah bro, my sword's sharp in this bitch, and then attacks him immediately. What the fuck? You not gonna do trivia in this household? Shame! So immediately after that, just jumps towards, swings a big ass sword into the bridge that they were walking across. They fall straight into the water and then float down shore until eventually they make their way to what is known as an island, in which case the main character wakes up to the bunny girl being like, hey you were asleep for a long time, you and that horse thief over there. So they're essentially woken up, explain that they landed on an island, and they're all cuddling to keep warm, because that's what you do when you're in this, regardless of whether or not this is a meme or a sexual thing. You cuddle with your bros naked if you're freezing in the water. I don't care if you're gay or with the homies. You cuddle your fucking bros. That being said, this guy's a little bit too, the blood's flowing, let's go ahead and say, because he shoots his shot every possible way that you can do it. With scene number one happening at 2 minutes and 25 seconds and going all the way to 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Minute 15, not that bad. But, you know, this starts out with, hey, you know what would make my pee-pee the big pee-pee? If you begged for the pee-pee. And she's like, that's cringe as fuck. And she's like, and then the dude's like, yeah, but like, I'm asking politely. And she's like, damn bro, you right. Oni-chan, daisuki desu ne. I don't know shoot me if you ever see me. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to die. Okay, let's go ahead and continue forward. You see, right after this, they immediately just start like, fuck it, let's build a raft. Let's go ahead and make sure that we can get a raft going. And during that time, while they're building the raft, the main guy's like, you know what? I'm going to go do something real quick, so I'll be back to help with the raft in just a second. As he walks off to the screen, and then in the middle of the bushes, pulls out a fucking Playboy magazine and just starts going through. You know what's weird? Playboy, I'm pretty sure, doesn't do nudes anymore in their not videos, their magazines. And like, what do they do now? Is it like a culture magazine or something? Do they talk about like high-end stuff, or do they still do like tasteful photos of women? I seriously don't know. I've never Googled it. If you know, please tell me. I'm not smart. I'm doing this. I don't know what's going on in the world. I've been locked in a box for several years. That being said, after opening up the magazine, Bunny Girl walks up behind him and is like, "You're using your hand when a woman is right here who's willing to do it? You fucking disgrace. Get the dick. Give me the dick." And then does exactly that. Which leads into scene number 2. Scene number 2 starting at 4:20, nice, and goes all the way to 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Minute and 5 seconds, slightly shorter. That's what they usually say to me. But that being said, I'm still bigger than you. So let's go ahead and continue. Right after this, they get straight the fuck to work. Like, all the way to work. Like, the girl goes from just like, we can use that as a log, and then just goes the fuck back to making a raft. The work ethic on this girl is second to none. She is ready to fucking go. And then after walking off to build the rest of the raft, they find out that the nothing personnel kid girl was washed up on shore as well, because apparently when you break a bridge while you're on the bridge, you both fall into the water, you dipshit. So naturally, they're nice people. They work her back to health, and they're like, "Hey, go ahead. You're done. Fine. Let's go ahead. Everybody gets a res. Everybody gets a long night's rest. We all get our hit die back, and we're ready to go." And she gets back up, and they're all friends again. She's like, "But I will kill you at some point." And he's like, "Well, you can certainly try, but my trivia gives me a lot of defense. So fuck around and find out, because I really want people to find out. I've been knowing a lot of stuff, and I really would like to share it." And then she's like, "I don't know how I can repay you." And he's like, "You know this is an R-rated series, right?" And she's like, "That's fair enough." And then that leads into scene number 3. Scene number 3 lasts from 7 minutes and 30 seconds and goes to 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Literally 5 seconds. Best way I can describe this is she's like, "How can I repay you?" And he's like, "Nothing personnel girl," whips out dick, puts it back, and then she's pregnant. Sorry to say. I don't make the rules. That's just how it happened. I'm a historian. I write down shit, and then it's permanent forever. So immediately after that, she's like, I'm out, and then walks into the water. She dips the fuck out. And she's never seen again through the rest of the episode. And, yeah, they build a raft, and then they flow their whole ass way all the way over to what I can only assume is a large island, otherwise known as a continent, because some of us are geologically challenged. My dad, unfortunately, was made of shale. His weak genes were passed down to me, and now I am nothing but an igneous formation. Geology has damned us. Geography is my new lord. I don't know where these jokes are coming from. It is currently like 2 in the morning as I'm recording this, and I haven't been up this late in a long time. And Jesus wept. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. After they land on the island, they're like, "That's a weird looking ruins." And then they both just walk into the middle of this Tomb Raider-esque fucking ruins. Walk inside, there's burnt down technology everywhere. No big deal, no biggie. And as they're walking through it, a robot is like, "You know what? I think you're traitors." Closes all the doors. "I'm gonna fucking murder you." if you can't answer these several questions, and he's like, I'm back, baby! It's not always about the fighting. It's about the trivia, baby, the trivia. If you're gonna get a 3 points in a row just for answering that trivia. Let's go. And then continues further on as they go through and through this whole open ass area until they find an area that is filled with one thing and one thing alone. Something for the girl to trip on so that he may be like, don't worry, I got you. Grabs her tits and then just gets his hands all inside of her. And I'm not counting this as a scene because there was no nudity or anything, but it just happens out nowhere, and I feel like saying it. Now, after that, they walk past a few things until eventually they get through enough trivia and walls, and then they find an open spot that looks like, You ever played Pokemon Ranger, the second game, and then you go to the top of the Ranger HQ, and then there's a tree? It looks like that. You know, the hit game, Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Almia, for the DS, one of the greatest games of all time. It looks like the Ranger base from that. I don't know how to say it in a more descriptive way. If you guys don't understand this, then I'm sorry, but you're the minority. You just don't get the popular media these days. So, yeah, he walks into a room, one big tree, and a cat. And the cat's like, I sense weirdos, and then floats straight up, and then turns into like the main villain from Doom Patrol, you know, where it's like all fractured and like weird looking, where it's like some of it's floating and there's magic in some ways, but it's all like broken glass sort of. And I had the name written down. Imagine if I'm gonna go ahead and say two different things. One, the character has about 18 letters in their name. And I'm not gonna try to fucking read this because I shortened the first name of this thing because I'm a person and not a fucking robot. So, yeah. It starts with an N and it ends with O-U at the end. You. And it's a joke about ℌ𝔢𝔫𝔱𝔞𝔦 because she straight up says her name, and then she calls herself the Crawling Chaos, which is ℌ𝔢𝔫𝔞𝔦. You know, ya boy from Lovecraft. Or as Super Eye Patch Wolf has put it, Wacky Howard and the Great Book of Weird Monsters. Yeah, best way to put it. She was a cat girl as well, so I'm going to call her ℌ𝔢𝔫𝔞𝔦. And she's like, you know what would be cool if you didn't exist? And he was like, bet, you ain't got shit on me, God. And she's like, alright, name the first person to have ingested 30 pounds of cyanide and live because they're a Chad. And he's like, trivia? I am a god. And then he just beats an elder god at it. And she's like, you know what? You're a bro. You're a dude. You're an absolute Chad. Here's a fucking sword of revealing light from the hit show Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, with the main character voiced by our good friend Chris Pratt. Yeah, hands him just a straight up sword of revealing light. Not a fucking joke. Sword of revealing light. Same PNG. And then the guy, like, runs out. He's like, I use this for nothing but good things. And the bunny girl's like, he's not. And then, as soon as the door closes, ℌ𝔢𝔫𝔞𝔦 just, poof, like, hard face plants on the floor and is like, man, I really hope they're gonna use that to kill the king because the king's a dick. And as they're running through, they kill all the demons. All the demons are dead. No need to worry about them. And Nothing Personnel Kid is still out there somewhere. And yeah, that's where episode 2 ends. I am viciously awaiting episode 3. So let's go ahead and get into the review for this because I've been doing this for a little bit and it's almost 2 in the morning and I really just want to finish my laundry because I planned badly. So let's go ahead and talk about animation. The animation for this? Nothing special. Gonna straight up say it, it has not improved from the last episode. This is a 6 out of 10 when it comes to animation. Yeah, middle of the road, but, you know, not horrible. So it gets that extra point. Characters and story. Characters and story are why you're here, because nothing this bullshit stupid happens in any other one. There's plot, which causes these things to grow and essentially makes it to where, like, damn, that was actually a cool series to watch. This is the one where you're watching it and you're like, where's this going? I need to know the dumbass jokes. I need to know how this is going to play out. So, this is a 9 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10 like the last one, because the last one was a 10 out of 10 for the fact that it was so fucking weird and the initial shock of it. I was expecting weird when I was going into this. I was not disappointed, and I was almost overmet with expectations. But that being said, it was also the exact same emotions that I felt in the first one, and there's really not anywhere else new to go with that. Like, there was variety, but for weird reasons, and there was also, I'm gonna straight up say it, we didn't get more of the succubus girl, even though in the last episode they said she was gonna be following behind them, which she wasn't. Fucking liars. So 9 out of 10. Still really, really, really good. But yeah, 9 out of 10. Funny as fuck. Weird as fuck. Didn't laugh as much because the shock humor was already like built in, but 9 out of 10 nonetheless. So let's get into what we're all really here for. The plot. The plot's not that great. I think it's about a little bit worse than the last episode, if I'm not mistaken. It's also a 6 out of 10 when it comes to it, because first off, they're sparse. Like, about the halfway point is where you get the whips dick out, nothing personnel kid, and then puts it back. And that's about where it ends. Like, there's the whole other half being subjective. There's like 8 minutes in the rest of the whole thing. But still, like, that's a whole other half that just isn't there. And throughout that, there were only like a minute, and then 5 seconds. Like, maybe a little bit more could have been used. Like, this feels like a series that could have benefited from more plot that also could have enhanced the jokes. I don't know how to say that I don't know a specific reason why. I feel like, though, there was room to breathe. But that also would have taken away from the joke. This may be like a balance that it hit itself with. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10 because it's sparse, it's vanilla for the tags that it has, and overall, it's just not that great. 6 out of 10. So overall, this is a 7 out of 10. When you crunch the numbers, add them up, and divide them, that leads to a 7 solid out of 10. This isn't a great one. This isn't a bad one, though. This is serviceable, but if you're here for the plot, you're not gonna be happy. If you're here for the plot, like straight up plot, you're gonna laugh your fucking ass off because this is so damn stupid. And I also think this is probably, like, this series right now is still, like, it's tamer than interspecies reviewers, at least so far. And I can safely say this is a 7 out of 10 must watch. 7 out of 10 must watch. Please watch this. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end my review. Thank y'all for being here. This is a series I am so happy that I get to do. And in my next one I'm going to be filming the 8th episode for interspecies reviewers. And then finally after that, we're going to be getting into something new, which is going to be the first episode of a series that I can't name because it is very long, but let's just say it was requested once a long time ago by a subscriber, and then it was requested again recently. But you want to know what I do? Forget. I literally had this thing pulled up, and it took a long time before I was like, oh, this guy's requesting something. I looked it up, and I saw that I already had the tab open that has been sitting there in the very back of my tabs for a really long time, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I got some things I want to say about this one. So you hold on. That being said, I have been the doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep or laundry. I might do both of them. You know what? I might even get something to eat in the middle of it because I'm on that Sigma male grind set. You know, the one where you're like, I'm gonna get everything ever all at once in the first 2 months of me deciding this, and also kill skinwalkers. So, yeah, goodbye. I have been the Doctor. And remember, have a nice day. Don't be a dick. There's too many of them. And wash your fucking hands. I have been the Doctor. Peace.